Hey guys, welcome to video 9. I would call it labels, selectors, and namespaces. In the last video, we saw how deployments create and manage pods. But now, imagine this. You have many applications running in the same Kubernetes cluster. Pizza app, burger app, backend app, frontend app, all mixed together. So how does Kubernetes know which pod belongs to which deployment? And how does it never get confused? The answer is labels and selectors. Think of labels as tags on pods and selectors as a giant scanner in the sky that finds exactly what you need. And then there's namespaces, which separate your entire cluster like different areas of the city, with control, limits, and access rules. If you don't understand this, everything in Kubernetes will feel confusing. But once you do, everything finally clicks. Let's break it down simply. Think of Kubernetes as a big city. In this city, many shops are running at the same time. You have a pizza shop, a burger shop, and a toy shop. Each shop is an application, and each shop has delivery drivers. These drivers are your pods. Now, how do we know which driver belongs to which shop? We give each driver a tag. For example, app is equal to pizza, app is equal to burger, app is equal to toy. These tags are called labels. So, a label is a simple key and value attached to a pod to describe it. Please take a note, label only describe the pod. They do not do anything by themselves. Labels are like name tags for drivers. Now comes the interesting part. If labels are the tags, selectors are how we find the right pods. Imagine there is a big scanner in the sky. The scanner can see every pod in Kubernetes cluster. Whenever you ask it something like, show me all pods where environment is equal to production, it scans all pods and picks up only the ones that match. That scanner is your selector. So you can say a selector is used to find pods based on their labels. Labels and selectors together is the glue that holds everything together. That's the way by which deployments and replica sets finds the pod that they are responsible for, as well as services finds the backend pods that they are servicing. We will talk about services in our upcoming videos. For now, just remember that in your CK exam, they sometimes give you incorrect labels or selectors that select the wrong label. And as a result, resources don't connect properly. The issue usually appears when connecting a service intended to bind with pods, the endpoints. In those cases, always double check that your service's selector targets the correct pod labels. We will go over this in more depth in one of the upcoming videos on services. Now let's take a look at all the pods that exist in our Kubernetes cluster. The command to do that is kubectl get pods -a. -a means all namespaces. So as we can see, we have pods under the default namespace and kubesystem namespace. Let's check how many namespaces do currently exist in our system. The command kubectl get namespaces. Don't worry about the commands again. You will be able to find all the commands that we are using in this demo here in kubernetes.io. You just need to know what you are looking for. If you are looking for namespaces, kubectl get namespaces. If you're looking for pods, kubectl get pods. Now we're going to create a new namespace over here named selector demo. So it just got created. We can see it under kubectl get namespaces that our selector demo namespace is present. Now we are going to use that selector demo namespace to contain all our pods that we will be creating in this demo. So as you already know, the command to create a new pod is kubectl run the name of the pod. Because we want these pods to be running under a specific namespace, we are going to explicitly mention that namespace over here in the command. So you do that by specifying -- namespace and the namespace name. And then the rest of the command is the same. Image is equal to nginx. And yes, we are going to stick some labels to the pods that we are creating. So I'm going to create the first pod as app production, and we will have the labels app is equal to web and environment is equal to production on that particular pod. Now we are going to create 3 pods, one in production, one in staging, and one in development. Let's name the pod that we are going to create in staging as app-staging. And it has the label environment is equal to staging. As you can see, the last pod we will be creating under development. It has got the same label app is equal to web and environment is equal to development. And the name of the pod will be app-development. It has been created, so all our 3 pods are created. Let's create 2 more pods with a slightly different label. We will name the 2 pods as front-end pods and back-end pods. Front-end pod is created with the labels app is equal to front-end and environment staging. And the backend pod is created with the labels app is equal to backend, environment staging. Oh, sorry, the front end pod was created with environment production. All our pods are ready. Let's view them now. So we have listed all our pods in all workspaces. You can see the ones running under the namespace selector demo are AppDev, AppProd, AppStaging, Backend Pod, and Frontend Pod. Let's only list out the pods in the selector demo namespace. And what I did over here is I have listed all the pods in selector demo namespace, and show labels means the command is also going to list out all the pods with their labels under the label section. Let's see the magic of selector. Over here, I'm going to pick up the pods with specific labels. So this one over here, the command I ran as kubectl get pods, meaning I'm asking kubectl to interact with the cluster and fetch the pods for me. Which pods? -n selector-demo. That means the pods that are running in the namespace selector-demo. -l means the pods that have got this label on them, and the label is environment, env is equal to production. So this command would fetch the 2 pods for us that have got environment is equal to production as their labels, as one of their labels. We see 2 pods were fetched because they are the ones that have got the label environment is equal to production on them. AppProd and frontend prod. No other pod has got the same label, environment is equal to production. So they did not get picked up. Let's look at the other one. Let's try to pick up app is equal to web label. And we see 3 pods were picked up, and these are the pods that have got app is equal to web label on them. App dev, app prod, and app staging. These are the first 3 pods that we created. Those who are aware of how to write the scripts, they know that exclamation is equal to means not equal to. So over here, I'm saying pick up the pods that do not have the label app is equal to web on them. And the pods that do not have the label as web, app is equal to web on them are backend pod and frontend pods. You can take a look. These were the last 2 pods that we created without app is equal to web label. So backend pod and frontend pod got picked up. Now we can pick up the pods which have got 2 labels on them. 2 labels separated by a comma. Comma means an AND operation. So the pods that will get picked up over here will be app is equal to web and environment is equal to production. Any pod that will have those 2 labels will be the only one that will be picked up. The only pod that has got those 2 labels is AppProd, and hence none of the other pods got picked up that only have app is equal to web or environment is equal to production, but the one that got picked up has got both the labels, not just one. So it's an and, comma is an and operation. Now let's just create some namespaces over here so that you can understand how we divide the whole cluster into separate namespaces. Now let's solve one more problem. What if many teams are using the same Kubernetes cluster? Think of Kubernetes as one big city. But inside the city, many teams are working at the same time. One team is building new features, one team is testing them, and one team is running the real production systems. So we divide the city into separate areas: development area, testing area, production area. Each area is called a namespace. Let's create another pod over here into a different namespace. kubectl run demo pod -n production, meaning a pod named demo pod will be created in the namespace production with image nginx and with the following labels: app is equal to front end, env equals to production. So the demo pod, just like that, was created inside the production namespace. And when you try to get the pods only in production namespace, note that it only lists out the demo pod. None of the other pods are showing up under that same namespace. So it has segregated this pod from the others. The labels got applied to the pod. Perfect. That's the end of the demo session. So what do namespaces actually do? Namespaces help us in 4 important ways. Organizing resources. They keep things clean and separated. So development work stays in development and production stays in production. Separating teams. Each team gets its own space to work, so teams do not accidentally interfere with each other. Now we can also have access control. Now imagine a company with multiple teams. The development team should only be allowed to work in the development area. They should not accidentally touch production systems. This is controlled using the access rules. So namespaces help us control who can access what. The 4th one, resource limits. Now this is very important in real companies. Think of the whole city having one big water tanker. This tanker supplies water to all the areas in the city, but we cannot let one area take everything. So we divide the water properly. Development area gets 30% of the water, testing area gets 20%, and production gets the rest of 50%. This way, no area can overuse the resources and everything runs smoothly. In Kubernetes, this is exactly what we do using resource limits inside namespaces. So we control how much CPU and memory each namespace can use. So how do you define a namespace? A namespace is a way to divide a Kubernetes cluster into separate logical sections for teams, environments, access control, and resource management. For obvious reasons, 2 pods with the same name can't coexist in the same namespace, but you can definitely have 2 pods with the same names in different namespaces. Namespaces are like different areas in a city. Each area has its own rules, its own teams, and its own resources. So labels define what it is, namespaces, where it lives, and who controls it. Let's bring it all together. Kubernetes is a big city. Pods are the drivers. Labels are tags. Selectors are scanners in the sky. Namespaces are different areas of the same city. And deployment is the manager. It says, I need 3 pizza drivers. It uses the scanners to find them. If one is missing, it creates another. Now you understand how Kubernetes organizes everything in real system. If this helped you, like this video and do subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.